So I own one of these Bridge City tools, KM-1 Kerf Maker. It's a nice tool. It works fantastic. But when I do go to use it, which is fairly often, I use it on my table saw in this manner here. Actually this way. And that being, and then I'll have a stop block on my fence, and that will be my long cut. Then you flip it and you bring it over and register your T-square against that edge, and that's your next cut. So what I'm intending to do here is that every time I go to use it, sometimes I'll use it standing up, sometimes laying down, but I want to get consistent results with it. So what I want to do here is I want to make a saddle similar to the saddle that I have for my dial indicator, like this here. And this just rides on the fence, and I've got a couple of mag switches in here that lock it down. So I'm gonna get another mag switch. In the meantime, I can use the one that I have. But what I want to do is I want to cut this back. I want to make a little cutout here so that this nestles into it and always registers perfectly in the same spot. So then when I go to flip it over, that'll register in that same spot, and I can use it like that. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a new saddle. Pretty simple stuff, but once I get done with it, I'll show you, or once we get the parts made, I'll show you how I'm going to put it to work, and then maybe some other uses I can use for it as well. Alright, I got this piece of scrap Baltic birch plywood. I'm sure along this. Hang on a second here. It's plenty long, that's for sure. It's 29, just a little bit over 29 inches long. I'm just going to rip it down. It'd be nice if it was a little bit wider, but that's fine. I'll use what I have here. I'm just going to true up so both sides are parallel, and it's going to be 3 3/8 inches wide. So let's get that done first. Yeah, that looks good. Here's a new use for the JessEm rip guides. You can use it as a stop as well. I mean, this thing is rigid as all get out. It's not moving a bit here. It's perfect. So I can ride along that, and I've decided to make my saddle piece here 5 inches. So it'll be 5, 5, and 7. So yeah, that's kind of cool. You can adjust it up here. You know, your depth of cut can be changed up here with this, and you can also drop this down a little bit further if you like. But I've got it, you know, probably ½ an inch off the table. We'll see how it works here. I'd say that's pretty good. So, you know, can't really beat that. An adjustable stop. It's easy to get it get it in, you know, set up and out of your way if you don't need it. And I've got a couple of perfect pieces right there. So now I'll slide this over a couple more inches and make my 7-inch cut. 7.5, 9.5. So we're going to go together something like that with my, then I'll put my rabbets in here, and that'll be the part that's going to extend out over for me, and I'll make my cut into that for my Kerf Maker. Did a little math here. My guide rail measures 3.017. I only measured it in one spot. The width of this long piece, which is the same as these, is 3.387. So that gives me a difference of 0.37 inches. Divided that by 2 to 0.185. And this is what I set my depth of cut for my blade. It's actually a little less than that, so that when I run it through here, I'm going to clean it up with my dado plane or rabbet plane to make sure I get a nice clean flat surface there. So and if it's a little bit wider, that's better than being too narrow. So let's just make these rabbet cuts, and then we'll put it together and see how it fits. It's going to be a good fit. So I just need to clean out that bottom, and then we can put it together. Alright, I'll go do that, and we'll be right back. Get down to the edge here, or right out to the edge. Make sure that I don't have any ridges out there. It's not perfectly flat, but as long as I've got a nice edge, you know, nice some flat edges to register to them. It should be good. All right, let me get my other piece here. You can see what that thing does for you. I mean, you don't get much better fit than that right there. Alright, let's go see how it fits. Okay, I like the fit. It drops on there nicely, slides easily. I've got two issues to deal with here. These sides are just a little bit too long as it gets down into the bottom of the channel here, where the angle iron starts to roll over. It wants to bind up on that just a little bit. So I'm gonna cut these back probably about a quarter. The other thing I need to take into account is that as this then drops down where it needs to be flush on the top here, I've got my tape sticking out just a little bit. So I'm going to make a little rabbet right here to take into account for that tape so that this doesn't ride right on top of it. So I'll make that rabbet, and then the other one I want to make is on the back side here. I've made marks right here. My bolts that I put into my extension table do not sit perfectly flush. They hang out just a little bit. So I'm gonna cut a rabbet in that so that you can see right there where it starts to bind up on me right there, so that this can slide past the bolts without any interference. Then I can come back and lay out these marks here for where I want this to sit, because I can't get it back where I want it to be because of that interference. So a rabbet here and a rabbet on this side, and then I'll come back and get that measurement for you. Got my piece set in my jig here. I'm going to make my first cut, and I've got it set off the table edge by a thickness of a business card. I'm going to make my first cut, and then just kind of keep moving over until I get close to the line, my other cut line. And the reason I'm going to do that is the width of this tool is 1.22 inches. So I don't want it to be super tight, but I want it to be a good enough fit where I can get it in and out easily and have it register nice. I've got my blade set to about 1/2 inch. I'm just guessing at that. Let me see what I got here. It might be a little less. We'll just go with that. It's awful good. I don't think I'll have to. Yeah, that's good. It's a nice fit. I don't even have to do any more than that. I stopped short of my line, which is good. But that's a nice fit. Slips in there easy. Comes out easy. Got lucky there. I'll just clean this up a little bit here. Take the roughness off of that. Then we can glue it together. Alright, it's looking good. And basically it's done. I'm not doing anything more to it. Here's how I'd recommend using it though. You want to set up your cut so that you're going to work, I'm going to call it long cut back to the short cut, and here's why. When you go to set this up, you want to bring this up. If anything's going to move, it's going to be this, and you don't want it to move. You've got everything tightened down hopefully. But you can bring this up nice and slow, make contact with the fence, lock it down, make your cut, right? And then when you want to switch it, just carefully remove it, flip it over, drop it in, and now because this is a solid piece, there you go. You can saddle up to that without worrying about changing that dimension by coming at it too hard. You don't want to come at it hard anyway, but this way you've got a solid piece here that you know is not going to change. So back it off. Oh, sorry. If you went this way for the setup, I'm going to get this close again. I'll just back it off, I guess. But if this was my start point right there, I set up my workpiece, bring this up, lock it, and now I can take it out, drop it down, and be good to go. There. And make my perfect cut, my perfect dado cut. So I've got it all set to go, and I'm ready to move on to my next project. I wanted to make this for my next project, and it didn't take all that long to do, but it's going to come in real handy. That's going to be a nice addition. One last addendum, I guess, to this. I forgot to show you that if you wanted to use it just as a stop on your fence, there you go. You know, if you wanted to space some cuts this far apart, make your first cut, make your second cut. This thing's not moving. I mean, it's almost like it's bolted to that rail. So there you have it. Okay, now, thanks for watching. See ya.